Man, it feels like every time you log into crypto Twitter, there's like 50 new things that have happened that you have to catch up on.
Yeah, it really does.
It's a lot.
It's impossible to keep up with.
So that's what we're going to do today. We're going to dive deep into the crypto news from the last 24 hours, bring you up to speed on everything that matters.
Exactly. We've been sifting through all the articles, market data, you name it, and we've picked out the most important stuff so you don't have to.
Perfect.
Yeah.
All right, so let's jump right in. The biggest story of the day has got to be the SEC dropping its lawsuit against Ripple.
Yeah, that was a huge development.
I mean, seriously, this thing has been dragging on for like, what, 7 years?
Close 8 years, actually.
Oh, wow.
A long time coming.
Yeah, so what does this mean for Ripple and for XRP?
First of all, XRP surged like 12% right after the news broke, so that's a pretty clear sign that the market is happy about this.
Yeah, of course. I mean, who wouldn't be right?
But I think the bigger picture here is that this could be a really positive precedent for other crypto projects that are facing similar regulatory challenges.
Yeah, I've been thinking about that too. Like, this could be a real turning point for the whole industry in terms of regulatory clarity.
Absolutely.
All right, so moving on, let's talk about the Federal Reserve. They decided to keep interest rates steady.
Yep, holding steady for now.
So, a lot of people might think, okay, cool, but what does that have to do with crypto?
Right.
Well, the truth is it actually has a lot to do with crypto because everything in finance is connected. You know what I mean?
Yeah, for sure. Like, crypto is often seen as this risky asset.
Yeah.
And when investors are worried about things like recessions or global instability, they tend to pull back from risky assets.
Exactly. And that can definitely have an effect on the crypto markets, even if it's not a direct connection.
Yeah, makes sense.
Okay, so let's shift gears a little bit and talk about ETFs, specifically Bitcoin ETFs and Ether ETFs.
Interesting stuff happening there.
Yeah, so U.S. spot Bitcoin ETFs, they've been seeing some serious inflows lately, like $209 million in just the last 3 days.
A lot of institutional money pouring in.
Yeah, it seems like the big players are feeling pretty bullish on Bitcoin these days.
They are, but on the other hand, Ether ETFs are actually seeing outflows. And they've been seeing outflows for 10 days straight now.
Wow, that's a pretty stark contrast.
It is. Makes you wonder what's driving that difference.
Yeah, I mean, is it something specific to Ethereum or is it more of a general trend away from altcoins? I guess we'll have to see how things play out.
Yeah, definitely something to keep an eye on.
All right, while we're on the topic of ETFs, we should also mention Solana because there's some news there too.
Oh yeah, definitely Solana's making some moves.
So Volatility Shares has launched Solana Futures ETFs, and there are rumors that we might even see spot Solana ETFs getting approved soon.
That would be a big deal for Solana.
Yeah, it would. And I think it shows that the ETF market is really starting to mature. We're seeing more and more options for investors to get exposure to different crypto assets.
It's a sign of growing adoption and mainstream interest.
Absolutely. Okay, now let's zoom out a little bit and take a look at what's happening globally. The Bank of Korea has decided that they're not interested in holding Bitcoin as a reserve asset.
Interesting development.
Yeah, they're citing concerns about volatility. But what I found really interesting is that they're actually exploring the possibility of launching their own central bank digital currency, a CBDC.
Yeah, it seems like a lot of countries are going that route these days.
It does, right? It's like they're saying, okay, we're not ready to embrace Bitcoin, but we're not opposed to the idea of digital currencies in general.
Exactly. They just want to be in control.
Makes sense. Okay, now for a little bit of drama. A trader just made a cool $9.4 million by closing a massive $520 million Bitcoin short on Hyperliquid.
Wow, that's some serious profit.
Talk about high stakes, right? But here's the twist. There are allegations that this trader might have been using stolen funds.
Oh, wow. That changes things.
Yeah, it does kind of takes the shine off the whole thing, doesn't it?
For sure. And this goes to show that there's still a lot of risk in this space, you know?
For sure. All right, speaking of risk, remember that big win that Ripple just had? Well, it looks like it's already having some ripple effects.
Oh, yeah. How so?
Well, Bitnomial, another crypto company that was facing a lawsuit from the SEC, has decided to drop their lawsuit.
Really? That's interesting.
And they're citing the Ripple outcome as the reason why. And get this, they're now planning to launch the first CFTC-regulated, physically settled XRP futures product.
Wow, that's huge.
Right. I mean, this
Well,
could be a major step forward in terms of bringing regulatory clarity to the crypto derivatives market.
I agree. It seems like Ripple's victory is paving the way for others.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Okay, so now let's check in on Ethereum. The developers have announced that they're going to be sunsetting the Holoski testnet next September.
Interesting. What's replacing it?
It's being replaced by a new testnet called Hootie.
Okay, cool.
And Hootie is going to be activating the Pectra upgrade on March 26th.
And for our listeners who might not be familiar with testnets, can you explain why they're important?
Yeah, of course. So basically, testnets are these like parallel versions of the main Ethereum network where developers can test out new features and upgrades before they go live on the mainnet.
So it's like a safe space to experiment and make sure everything works properly.
Exactly. And it's super important because, if something goes wrong on the mainnet, it can have some pretty serious consequences.
Absolutely better to catch those bugs early.
All right. Last but not least, let's talk about Uniswap.
What's happening there?
So Uniswap holders have just approved a massive $165.5 million in funding.
Wow. That's a lot of money. What's it for?
Well, this funding is going to pave the way for the long-awaited fee switch.
Ah, yes, the fee switch. I've been hearing about this.
Yeah, so the fee switch is basically a mechanism that will allow a portion of the fees generated by Uniswap to be directed towards the Uniswap treasury.
Interesting. And what's the goal of that?
Well, the idea is that this will create a sustainable source of revenue for Uniswap, which can then be used to fund further development and growth.
Okay, so it's all about ensuring the long-term health of the protocol.
Exactly. And a lot of people believe that this could be a game changer for Uniswap v4 and Unichain, their cross-chain protocol.
Makes sense. It could really accelerate their growth.
All right, I think we have time for one more quick update. There are reports that the operators of that defunct Russian crypto exchange Garantex might be moving funds to a new platform called Grinex.
That's suspicious.
Yeah, and apparently Grinex has a very similar setup to Garantex.
So they're potentially trying to evade regulations.
That's what it looks like, yeah. And this just goes to show, how tricky it can be to regulate crypto across different jurisdictions.
Yeah, it's a global challenge.
All right, so wow, we covered a lot of ground today.
A lot happened in the last 24 hours.
Yeah, from a major legal victory for Ripple to some interesting ETF developments to drama in the world of high-stakes trading. It's been a wild ride.
And it really highlights the interconnected nature of the crypto space. How one event can trigger a cascade of other events.
It really is fascinating, and it makes you wonder what's coming next. What's the next big thing that's going to shake things up?
Yeah, what will the next 24 hours bring?
Right. So I'm curious, what do you think, what do you see as the biggest potential game changer in the crypto space over the next year? Let us know in the comment.
Yeah, we'd love to hear your thoughts.
And hey, if you found this deep dive helpful, please give it a like and share it with your friends.
Spread the knowledge.
And if you want more concise crypto updates like this delivered straight to your feed, make sure you hit that subscribe button.
See you next time.
All right, thanks for listening, everyone.
Bye.